Hi friends, how are you guys? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Today I wanted to film a island update video because I've been making lots of changes and renovations that I would love to share with you guys today. Before we get started, feel free to give this video a like and / or subscribe. And I think that's all I have to say about that. And we will go ahead and get started. And I will also have my dream address linked in the description of the video, and I will probably insert it here as well in case you guys are interested in touring. I would obviously love to have you, and yeah, I think that's everything, so we'll go ahead and get started. In case this is your first time seeing my island, just a quick recap. My island is named Winterfell, and I named it after the northern capital in Game of Thrones. So my island is very loosely inspired by the show, but for the most part the theme is overarchingly natural and overgrown. And so I think that's every disclaimer, and we will jump right into it. So here is my front entrance. So as you can see, I have two waterfalls bordering the front entrance when you first enter the island, and I didn't want to make them totally identical because I felt that having some asymmetry throughout my island would really help with the natural theme of it and not try to make things look too similar. If we come over this way, we will find Raymond being adorable and gazing up at the sky. And then over here is my plaza. And oh my gosh, Lolly and Meringue chatting in the courtyard. So cute. And so right behind resident services, we have some waterfalls and some more hilltops. I really tried to be experimental when shaping my island with terraforming, and I definitely incorporated a fair share of rivers and creeks and ponds and that type of thing. And I will show a better view of my island as we get further along in the tour. Oh yes, Raymond, you go. Doing his calisthenics. If we come around this way, this is like a little valley, so up here I just have another waterfall with some items surrounding it. I've got this pond stone and some trees and mush DIYs, decoy ducks, that sort of thing. And if you guys saw my last video, then you will remember that the decoy duck is my favorite DIY recipe, so be prepared for them to be everywhere throughout this tour. If we come over to the right, up here is my shopping district. So if we take this little hidden passage this way, this is my Nook's Cranny. And from my original tour, I used to have it on the ledge just behind over this way. And so it used to be up here, right where this little cafe is, which I will come back to in just a second. But I decided to move it down here because I wanted it to be a little bit more hidden, and I really like the placement of it here. I kind of like how it's a tucked away shop, and I tried to make tried to color coordinate the shop to the best of my abilities. So as you can see, I have plenty of orange windflowers as well as some orange hyacinths, and I added a little waterfall, a little mini waterfall just in front of it, and of course a fortune cookie cart. And I definitely went crazy shopping on Nookazon, getting all the mush DIYs because of course they're not available in the Northern Hemisphere islands right now, so I've definitely been gathering my fair share of them on Nookazon. If we come over here, this is my cafe that I had replace the original area where my Nook's Cranny was. And so we of course have a raccoon figurine who is prepared to give us our coffee. And I know that some people hate these little guys, but honestly I think they're kind of like a cute creepy, you know what I mean? Like, look at his face. Look at him. I mean, like, he's kind of creepy, but he's also cute. I don't know. But so full disclosure, I think I have like 4 cafes, and there is a raccoon at every single one. So if you are anti-raccoon figures, just be prepared for that, and I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to click off the video. But so right here I have my Able sisters, and I didn't change the placement of this shop. But I did add a river and a bridge, and I really like this bridge, especially with the way it looks connecting to the Able sisters. I just think it color coordinates very nicely. And of course, another decoy duck in the corner. I don't even know how many I have, but they are everywhere. And if we come over to the right, back this way is my Stargazing Library, and it overlooks the Flower Hill. And I did a tutorial video on how to make this Stargazing Library, so if you're interested in making one of your own, I will have the video linked down below. But yeah, so it just kind of overlooks the rolling flower hills, and I think this is my favorite spot on my island now. It's just so cozy and very aesthetic at any time of day. I love coming here and taking photos. It's like pretty sure it's like half my photo album right now, or at least my Animal Crossing photo album is just like that Stargazing Library with the flower hill in the background. And if we come over this way and take this little path, we'll head down to the beach. And full disclosure, I've been really struggling with figuring out what to do with my beaches. I think this is pretty much my beaches are pretty much the last part of my island that I need to tend to. But as of now, I just have a few trinkets here and there, like some shell stools, some butterflies, hammock, and swinging bench, and all that good stuff. And I'm slowly but surely working my way through it. And then of course over here I have a little coconut juice stand as well that serves some fruit infused water, because we have to keep the villagers hydrated. And then we'll take this little secret path through this way, and this is cafe number 2. And oh my gosh, sorry, I just saw Fauna like sitting in the middle of the crescent pond, and that just made my day. She's so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be touring right now. Over here is my second cafe. Do you guys see the shark over the water? I need to stop getting distracted. Okay, here is the second cafe and raccoon figure number 2. And I will have the creator ID codes and custom designs of all of the designs that I use in my islands. And so over here I just have a little mushroom table with some cupcakes and a cake so that the villagers can nourish their sweet tooth. And over here, again, still working on this side of the beach and this little corner in particular, but I think I'm going to make it kind of a band area. And so right now I just have a microphone and what do they call this? Marimba? I'm probably butchering that, I apologize, but I'm working on this area to be like a little band area, if you will. Okay, and we'll come up this way and we'll take the very exciting white hyacinth path up to a new area I've been working on up ahead. And this is the wedding event area. And I love all the wedding items so much, so I had to stash them somewhere, so I decided to allocate them all into this area, and I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. And I kind of wanted to add like a quirky element to it, so I decided to add a Mr. and Mrs. Flamingo that are getting married, and the villagers can come and celebrate their marriage. And yeah, I'm also thinking about making this area kind of like a seasonal area, if you will. So as new items, as we get new items with every season, I'll probably switch things out. And now I know that we have a ton of mermaid stuff right now, so that'll probably be the next thing that I try to do with this area. But yeah. And I decided to tour my island during golden hour because personally, I think it looks prettiest during this light, and I thought it was only fitting to tour with at golden hour. This is, if you saw my first tour, then you probably will recognize this area. I didn't make too many changes to it. It's just a picnic / garden little area, and I think the only real changes I made were to the custom designs. So I have some wood planks and some fairy log stools, and I think I originally had stones, and so I just decided to add some more fairy core and cottagecore-esque elements. If we come up here, we have my new and improved marketplace. So around the corner we have a couple stalls selling plants, flowers, all that good stuff, and just because I had to, I added a little puppy dog right at the forefront of those stalls. And if we come back around, I have some honey as well as my orchard just behind that. And that's the new market. If we come to the left back here, we'll head towards my museum. And up here I have my Quetzal. I butchered this name from the last tour, and I'm sure I'm doing it again, but this guy, this big old pterodactyl, he's still proudly on display right next to the museum. And I remembered feeling that I was a little bit unsure of the placement of my museum, but now as I've added more items around it, I think I've gotten more comfortable with it. I like how it's tucked away back in the far corner of the island, and I really like it. And I had if you recall from the first tour, the moon used to be directly behind the museum, but the museum was kind of blocking it, so I shifted it slightly over to the right and just added some more mush DIYs around it, and surprise, surprise, a decoy duck as well. And just around here, we can, if I can squeeze past the tree, get a slightly better view. This is the museum. And if we come over to the right here, this is just a little pathway that I was working on that leads to the flower hill here. And I will also give a quick disclaimer that through this archway is a Game of Thrones spoiler. So if you are planning to watch the show, or you are currently watching the show and don't want any spoilers, then I would suggest skipping ahead to the timestamp, which I will insert here. And other than that, if you are not concerned or you're not watching the show, then we will go ahead and go on in. So here is my grave for Daenerys Targaryen. So for all of you Game of Thrones fans, oh, I completely just dishonored her. So for all of you Game of Thrones fans, this will look very familiar, and I added a Godzilla at the top to watch over her grave. But as far as I'm concerned, that's Drogon watching over her grave. And my plan is to, as I rack up all of the Lily of the Valleys, I am planning to replace all of the white tulips with Lily of the Valleys, because Daenerys was a 5-star character. She only deserves the best 5-star flowers, in my opinion. And yeah, I used to also have a stone stairwell that led up to get a better bird's eye view of her grave, but because Animal Crossing is so kind and only lets you have 8 inclines, and I wanted to make that Stargazing Library I previously just showed, I had to get rid of this stairwell, but that's okay. It still looks great, and I'm actually really happy with the perspective of looking up at Drogon from here. So overall, I'm happy with this. Coming over this way, here is my flower hill, and in my first tour I had my ratio of pink flowers to white hyacinths was way off. I had way more white hyacinths, hence why they're all down there, because I moved a ton of them. But my hill used to be all white hyacinths, and honestly I just got really bored with it, so I decided to add a ton of pink flowers just so that they could have just so that the hills could have splashes of my favorite color. And it's still a work in progress because, as you can see up here, there's still plenty of white hyacinths that need to be replaced with some diverse pink flowers, but other than that, it's coming along. And it's like a nice project to have on the side, you know. I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding that there's fewer and fewer things for me to do, but it's nice to have that task still of being able to replace flowers on my hill. And we'll come over to the left here and I will show my village. And I haven't made too many changes since my first tour of the village, but I moved Meringue's house, which I'll get to shortly, but I also changed a ton of the pathing. So it used to be all stone pathing, and I decided to change it to some wood planks and some fairy log stools and this darling fairy core path, just because I got kind of bored of the stones, and like I said earlier, I just wanted to incorporate some more fairy core, cottage core vibes. Am I saying that right? Fairy core, fairy, cottage, fairy. I'm malfunctioning. I'm so sorry. But we will come up here, and so here's the upper half of my village. So as you can see, here's Fang's house. Oh, and since I just missed it, Fauna's house is this guy right here, and then Diana is her neighbor right over here. Yeah, and then we'll come back up here, and so this is Fang's house, and then Meringue just behind him. Meringue's house used to be right here, but I was annoyed that it was kind of hiding behind Fang's and you couldn't really see it all that well, so, and she deserves better than that, so I decided to shift her slightly over this way, and it looks so much better. And over here I replaced where her house used to be with a public table where all the villagers could gather if they ever want to hang out or read a book or play cards or do whatever they want. And let me hop over this way so I can show you guys this upper cliff. And up here I just added a ton of new flowers and some more mush DIYs, and as you can see, some firewood, and of course a Queen Alexandria's bird wing. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have had those. I have several of those incorporated throughout my island. I just love the way it looks. And as you can see, I also have some narrow creeks and ponds and waterfalls as well, and I just tried to make it almost like a marsh, because I didn't really have anything quite like this on my island already, and this area was small enough to where I couldn't have a large pond or anything like that, but it was small enough to where I could make these tiny little islets, so I thought it worked out kind of nicely. And we will come back down this way and I will show the rest of the village. So over here we have Raymond's house tucked back here, and Lucky's house as well. And then if we come back right next to Raymond's house, there is this secret beach, and I believe I showed this in my first tour as well, and I haven't made too many changes to this area. Right now it's still kind of a zen sauna type area, and I'm thinking of mixing it up a little bit because I've had it like this for quite some time, and now that we have so much more pirate apparel and pirate DIYs, I'm thinking I might try to tailor it to be a more pirate theme, especially because red comes right there, so that might work out quite nicely. Okay, and we'll come back over this way, and we have Whitney's house here, and further down we have Julian, and then just across this bridge there's Sherb, and finally down here we have Lolly. And so a few more changes I've made just around this area is I've added a ton more white log stakes just to kind of mimic fencing, and then I added a few more stepping stones with some white hyacinths, a decoy duck, and a plot big enough for a little cherry tree right in the middle. And up there is my house, which we will get to at the very end of the tour. But yeah, I think these are all the major changes I've made to the village. And I also, if you hadn't already noticed, I tried to color coordinate because they don't really have big enough spaces for yards or anything like that, just based on the way that I space them out together. I decided to personalize them by adding some flowers that either matched their personality or their housing exteriors. So you may have noticed that as I was just showing off each house as well. And right here, of course, I have a little picnic area that they can go and hang out at as well. If we come over to the left here, this is another spoiler that I'm about to get into. So again, if you don't want any Game of Thrones spoilers, I would highly recommend skipping ahead to the timestamp that I insert here. Otherwise, I will go ahead and jump right into it. But this is another memorial that I showed in my first tour, and it is dedicated to Lord Eddard Stark. And I didn't make too many changes to his grave because I'm ultimately very happy with it. I like how it's kind of tucked away against that cliff and at the end of the forest, and yeah, I think it's a nice, cute little memorial, or not cute, I guess, but a nice peaceful memorial, if you will. So yeah, that's that. And then we'll come over this way, and here is my beach cafe. And if you saw my first tour, then you might remember that this used to be a fishing dock, and again, I just kind of got bored with that, and I wanted to make it something a little bit more quaint and elegant, so I decided to transform it into a beach cafe. And now we have raccoon figure number 3, and he is serving some, I don't know, maybe like clam chowder or fish stew or something like that. But yeah, this is the beach cafe, and I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. And before we go deeper down into the forest, I will come back up this way because I did add a couple more things further up. So here is just a small picnic area with a teddy bear and a gnome, and they look like they are thick in conversation. And also, if you guys hadn't already noticed, I added plenty of white hyacinths and white windflowers because, like I said, I had so many white hyacinths left over from the flower hill that I previously showed, and I also had plenty of white windflowers growing on my island, so I just dispersed them throughout my beaches just to add some floral splashes around the beach as well. So up here, I decided to turn this area into an onsen. So I have an outdoor bath here, a tall lantern, a pot, stone tablet, some cherry blossoms, and a bamboo shoot light. And it's very simple. There's not a ton of stuff here, but I kind of like the simplicity of it. I think it's very, very quaint and very peaceful as well. And who knows, I might change it later, but for now, I'm pretty happy with it. And we will come back down and I will show off the campsite. So over here, we have the deepest part of the forest, if you will. And over here is my campsite island. And I haven't made too many changes to this area. I will say that I did move the, if you guys can see up there, the genuine mother statue. I think that one's genuine. Maybe it's fake. I can't quite remember. But I decided to move that so that it was overlooking the campsite. And I kind of like the way it looks with all the tiki torches and that type of thing. It looks almost ritualistic, or like it's a forest spirit guardian kind of watching over the campsite. I feel bad for whoever's camping at the campsite because that sounds a little creepy and a little weird, but I actually like the way it looks aesthetically. And of course, the snapping turtles just to guard the back behind the campsite as well. And I'm pretty happy with the way the campsite is as of now. I probably won't make too many more changes to it, but yeah, this is my campsite ground. If we come over to the front of the beach here, we have my lighthouse with surrounded by an army of white hyacinths. And I think, if I can recall correctly, I think I was just plopping all of these here when I was trying to figure out what to do with them as I was removing them from my floral hill. But honestly, I kind of like the way they turned out right next to the lighthouse, and who knows, I might change it later, but I'm not too mad about this area right now. But yeah, that's my lighthouse. And then if we come over just to the left, here is a kind of a private dock area where if you just want to go and relax and listen to the sounds of the waves and maybe read a good book and drink some coffee, then we have the perfect area for that right over here. And we will come over this way, and I have my fourth and final cafe and my final raccoon figurine, I promise. But this is my fourth coffee shop, and I think this one is my favorite. I just like how tucked away it is, and then it also has a beach, like a private beach for it as well, where you can sit and drink your coffee and overlook the ocean. And yeah, it's I think this is my favorite coffee shop. It's very quaint and very charming, and I think I said this last time too, but I think my favorite parts of any island are the ones that are hidden and tucked away and kind of secret almost, because I think they just add so much personality and character. And so now we are over back by the front entrance, so we will take this way up back to the village, and I will give my house tour. And this area is just kind of like a river overpass. I think this used to be a garden, and I might not even have showed that in my first video, but I scrapped that entirely and made it a bridge overpass and added a moon crescent chair right here as well, in addition to, of course, another Queen Alexandria's bird wing, because can you ever have too many Queen Alexandria's bird wing? The answer is no. No, you cannot. And we will come up this way back through the village, and I will show off my house. So up here is my front yard, and if any of you saw my first video, then you might remember that my front yard used to be pretty much littered with white and pink lilies, but I wanted to shift into different colors as we're approaching fall, and also I kind of wanted to go for a more witchy vibe, so I added some mush parasols and some mush lamps, and then of course some of the star apparel as well. So we've got a Nova light over here and a crescent moon chair, and then of course just some star fragments lying around, because why not? And I shifted my colors to be more orange and green and white, and yeah, so completely changed my front yard to make it look slightly more fairy tale-esque. And with that being said, let's go ahead and pop on inside. So here is my main room, and I really, really like it. It's kind of like a cozy little cabin, and if you saw my first tour, I don't think this room looked too different, but I just rearranged some furniture and added some more log DIY furniture, as well as a kitchen island right here. And of course, I still have all of my villagers proudly on display. They would probably be so weirded out to know that I just have their faces up in my house, but you know what? They are just adorable, and I need to showcase them to the world, and I can't help myself. And back here is my laundry room. I haven't made too many changes to this room. I think I added this wooden chest and then another laundry board, an ironing board, but that's about it. But yeah, this is the laundry room, and as you can see, I'm pretty obsessed with the lacy rugs. I think every room I have has a lacy rug. Maybe not all of them, but I definitely did my best to add them wherever I could. In addition to the potted ivy and the floral swag, those are definitely my most recurring house items. here, we'll go into this room on the left. And it's funny, I don't think I've actually been in this room in quite some time. I'm trying to remember if I even made any changes to it. Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah, I was like, have I even been in here? But yeah, clearly not, because I couldn't even remember. But so yeah, this is kind of just like a little living room, and so I have a fireplace here, and then a coffee table with the rose blanket just underneath it. And I think it's a cute little charming room, and yeah, I don't have a ton to say about it, but I think I didn't really know what to do with this room, and I'm pretty sure I'll change it at some point because my main room is already kind of like this, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And then we will go to this room on the right. And this is my bathroom slash like sauna, if you will. And again, very simple, not much to tell here, but I really like it. It's kind of a relaxing bathroom. I wish my bathroom was like this. I probably would never leave, but yeah, this is just kind of the bathroom sauna area, and it's very peaceful, very cute, and very simple. And then just 2 more rooms to go, but I will go upstairs first because my bedroom is the room that I have made the most changes to of all the rooms in my house. So it originally used to be, if you didn't see my first tour, it originally used to be like a ton of cute furniture and cute DIY items, but I decided to completely scrap that so that I could have a more cohesive cabin or like cottagecore vibes throughout my house. And so yeah, I just added some more log furniture and some like shelves and stone DIY recipes as well. And then over here I have the mom's plushie with his little bed because obviously he needs one to be cozied up right by the fireplace. And then I just randomly have a photo of Whitney on this coffee stand or bookshelf, I forget what you call it, but I have her randomly on top of it because she's the only villager who has given me her photo, but also I have the, if you recognize it, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, I have the Stark direwolf sigil right below it, so I thought because Whitney's a wolf, it was fitting that I only put her on top of the wolf symbol. And yeah, this is my room, and I really like it. It's very peaceful, and I think it goes really nicely, the floral swag matching the wedding flower, wedding hanging flowers. And then last but not least, I will take us down to the study. And I don't think I've made too many changes in this room either. However, I do want to, because right now it's just kind of a mess, if I'm being honest. Like, it's just kind of a bunch of random things in one room, and the colors don't really match. And for whatever reason, I put potted red ivy on my walls, but it's not quite fall yet, and maybe I just felt inclined to do so. But yeah, it's just kind of messy right now. It's a weird conglomerate of items, and so I think I'm gonna change it up to be, I think I'm gonna keep it as a study, or I might even try to shift it into a more witchy type vibe. So maybe I'll make it like a secret laboratory or some place where you can make spells and potions and things like that. But I will keep you guys updated on what I changed that room into. And that was everything I had to show of my house, and I believe the rest of my island as well. So I really hope you guys enjoyed my island update. If you did, please make sure to give this video a like and / subscribe. And again, I will have my dream address linked down below in case you would like to come visit Winterfell in person. Obviously, I would love for you to come see it. And yeah, I think that's about everything. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!